Hey, welcome everyone to Star Flag Media. Today is February the 16th. Happy St. Valentine's Day to you guys. We're a little late, but hopefully you all had a good Valentine's Day.
And if you didn't,
well,
save your money, King.
Chris will be your Valentine's this year.
There you go.
No.
Send him a gift. Buy him a coffee at the link. Happy Valentine's Day. We're gonna be talking about a couple things this Drunken Idiots podcast, but what's the biggest thing that happened this week? It's definitely video game related, and if you're not a gaming fan, of course it was the Super Bowl. So we're gonna just start off with the Super Bowl, and we're gonna probably be on the Super Bowl for 2 minutes because bigger things have happened this week. So as everybody knows, my name is Anthony, and I'm here with
Chris, a.k.a. Talents
860, and then with us again, if you guys were here for the holiday special, we got Sergeant America.
Hey, what's up?
You can look him up. His name is Jason. You can look him up on Sergeant America on Xbox. Is it just Sergeant America or is it 316?
That one is on PlayStation.
Okay, so Sergeant America on PlayStation and on Xbox?
The great one.
The great one on Xbox. So, Super Bowl.
Mahomes was my homie, man. He showed greatness. He showed excellence. And pause, but when I think of Patrick Mahomes, I think of that meme with Ricky Bobby, and he says, "I wake up every morning and I piss excellence." That overtime quarter, and when he got the ball, and it was looking like he was going to be down and out. Nope. Just showed how
If you're
tremendous.
not first, you're last.
Yeah. Just show how great he is, man.
So, Sarge, tell us about how you felt about the Super Bowl. First of all, who's your favorite team?
49ers, the losing team.
Twice in a row, huh?
Man.
Yeah. So, it was a little bit rough for you to watch, I can imagine. I wanted to text you because you're a notorious shit talker for the Cowboys. And you guys
I really am.
are the second Cowboys.
I
You
know.
talk shit for the Cowboys?
No, about the Cowboys. Because
Oh,
he's a Niners fan.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
How long it's been and blah, blah, blah. But
They got there, though.
at least...
They got there twice in like the last 4 years.
So all that means is the Cowboys sat at home and watched them play and lose.
Yeah. I'm not defending the Cowboys.
I'm just saying, the Niners, your last Super Bowl was 1994. The last victory.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago. I mean, hey, you guys had a great team, obviously. You guys won your division. You guys are the NFC champs, right?
Yep.
So they're a great freaking team. But it seems like Kansas City got your guys' number. That last overtime, when they gave up, the ball, and they said, "We want it first," Mahomes' face couldn't believe it. So happy.
Yeah.
And then you guys scored your field goal, and he had 2.5 minutes left on the clock, which might as well have been an hour.
I would have thought that they did that so they could give their defense time to rest.
Yeah, ideally, but it's Mahomes, and
This is Mahomes we're talking about, man. The new Brady.
pretty much. So I mean, yeah, Super Bowl. What was it? 50, whatever. I don't even know what it was. Super Bowl 50, I think.
58.
How you feel about
58.
the Usher halftime show?
I saw a comedian, and he said this is going to be the last black halftime show we're going to have in a long time. He said they brought every black artist they could think of. He said we had a good run, but as soon as he saw Usher's roller skating between stripper poles, he said they're not giving us another one after that. We're gonna need a buffer year.
I seen a lot of people like online saying like this is like the greatest Super Bowl halftime show ever.
Rihanna's was better.
And I was like, nah, it
was
was
good.
good,
It
but
was
it
good.
wasn't.
I'm not saying Rihanna's hits are better, but
She had a more.
her thing was up in the air with all those that thing
Yeah.
was wild, and she was pregnant.
It was visually appealing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. The Bruno Mars one was pretty good.
Bruno Mars is probably going to be in my top 5. Prince will be in my top 5.
Yeah. This was good though. It was good, and he had all his boys up there.
I think, and Yeah.
Jermaine Dupri showed up after 15 years in the dark, looking like CeeLo.
Yeah, I thought that was CeeLo when he came out. Yeah, top 5. It's not in my top 5.
It was good. It was good. And he did all his hits.
But he had too many. He had too many songs, too many hits. So he tried to. I think that's what kind of ruined it.
So something I found out about the Super Bowl halftime show is that the artist pays for that.
Yeah.
Super Bowl doesn't pay them anything.
Yeah.
They give them a budget of like $15 million, but that goes towards all the production, hiring a crew, the stage, everything, and then the artist keeps none of it. But supposedly your sales and your albums go so crazy high that it pays for itself. And Usher's dropping a new album.
Yeah.
So
investing in itself.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good.
You seen what Kanye did for the Super Bowl?
Oh, that. Let's talk about Kanye's Super Bowl commercial. It was what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds?
It was a 30
seconds long.
That's what it was.
Yeah, paid $7 million
and he
for
made
it.
sure he did the whole 30 seconds.
He sure did. And he said, hey, we don't got no money left over for the actual commercial. So that was hilarious to me because that's out. You know, he's got the money. But it was so funny how he said it.
Yep.
And then all he said was like, hey, visit Yeezy.com, YEEZY.com. He made sure to.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was in the back of a taxi.
The
and he definitely
teeth,
recorded on his camera phone.
with the stupid teeth, and then
he looked a little bloated.
Then he gave it a nice 3 seconds to go. That's it. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yep. Perfect.
So.
And it worked because everything sold out from his website. He had a flash sale, $20, everything on the website.
I did see that. So you were correct.
Yeah. So that was brilliant.
Yeah. It was
marketing.
It was brilliant.
And he'd been talking about wanting his line to be $20 for a long time, but Target wouldn't allow it, and neither would Adidas. So he actually did it. So everybody jumped on $20. That's not. If I would have known.
Yeah.
I'm not even a fan of his clothing line or anything, but for $20, I would have grabbed me some. What do they call it? Yeezy pods? I would have got me a pair of those. Yeah, they sold out in seconds, apparently.
Yeah, when I went to the website, when I seen the commercial, the Yeezy pods were sold out.
Yeah, for $20.
They had T-shirts, and it was more things for like females, rompers, and stuff like that. But
if you would have jumped on it, everybody that went on there and jumped on it for $20, good for you.
Resold it. Yeah, it's gonna resell like crazy.
Yeah, good for you because they're not gonna be $20 forever. So that's the Super Bowl. And there's a rumored Kanye album coming out, so that's interesting.
I think it's out now.
Is it out? Okay, so I wasn't sure, but I did see that today on my TikTok feed. I'm too old to be on TikTok, but hey, TikTok shows me a lot of cool stuff.
So, what's the big news this week, man?
Oh, well, last week we had our Sony Blue.
Yes. Okay. So last week. Now I want to remind you guys. I want to remind everyone who watched. I want to remind you guys.
There's a real easy reminder. You can just watch last week's episode.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the podcast last week, we heard some unfortunate news for Xbox.
Sure did. Everybody's reporting on that.
Everyone was reporting on it. And as a man and a fan who wants Xbox to do greater, I empathize and I sympathize with those Xbox fans.
Right.
And not only.
And you brought that Xbox Sony Blue Hypnotic.
I brought Sony Blue Hypnotic, and I turned it green, and I poured a shot.
This guy.
Turned it green. I turned it green.
Uh-huh.
And I said, we need to have a drink for my Xbox fans.
Like you do for your dead homies.
I don't do that.
That's exactly what that was.
I'm not in game.
That's what I do.
That's how I interpreted that.
So
anyway, so
they were having a rough week.
Since we're celebrating Xbox.
Yes, go. What are we doing?
Since we're celebrating Xbox.
What are we celebrating?
Xbox's greatness. We got some Xbox green this week.
Oh, wow.
Here now come that bad boy. We got some sweet Japanese Midori.
Is it made from rice?
It's made out of melons for you.
For me?
I like melons too, guys. It's watermelon flavored, I'm guessing. That's coincidence. It was either this or apple Alizé. And I said, well, that's too obvious. You can't do the Alizé. So we're going to go with Midori. And we're gonna have a little bit of this. So the big news this week. The big news was the Xbox podcast.
Yeah.
And it was yesterday.
It was 22 minutes, and of the 22 minutes, 5 minutes was
Actual
informational, and the other 17 was commercial fluff.
Yeah.
Here's something for the fans. They got Diablo 4 for Game Pass.
Yeah. So let's start from the jump, because the first thing I wrote down is, as soon as I don't have my notepad with me right now, but as soon as
unforeseen,
I wrote very well rehearsed.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
It was scripted.
Oh my God! They rehearsed this thing at least
A few times.
a week.
And I don't know this. I don't know if you ever seen this show. It was a show called. I'm gonna forget the name of the show. It's a really good show. On HBO.
Mix this with you.
Where's my phone? Let me get it.
Oh, that
Why
looks
you-
good.
why you
Looks
pull
like
up?
high C
Oh,
Apple here.
Give me 1 second. Let me find out this show.
All right. While he's looking that up, yeah. So the first thing I wrote down was very well rehearsed, because my goodness, was it? It was really well rehearsed. And
Okay, Succession.
okay,
So there's a show on HBO. It just ended, I believe, last year, called Succession, and it was about, corporate politics and when you're number one and on what you do, and how the family wants to take over the business, whatever.
Yeah.
But there would be tension and drama in the show. Things, rumors go a little crazy, go a little awry. Things
course.
get out of hand, and they would show
Keep
the bigwigs how they would all do a PR stunt and how they spin it,
Right.
and how they would rehearse things, and how they would go out and say, "It's not as bad as you think." My brother didn't kill
for
that.
sure,
My
for
brother
sure, for
didn't
sure.
kill that waiter.
That's politics too.
Yeah.
Everybody has a spin. How to spin the story.
Yeah. So that's what I got. It reminded me of that show.
So I didn't. Yes, there's a lot of spin, of course, but what I got from cheers everyone.
Green.
Yeah,
Xbox
cheers.
Green.
To gaming.
To gaming. They still got horses in the race.
Cheers to everyone out there that's drinking with us. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's
I think that's to be had by itself. What do you think?
yeah, I agree.
It's very sweet, right?
yeah.
So I've never had it before, but it came highly recommended by Reddit, and it's infused with Japanese melons. But yeah, they said you can mix it with dark liquor. So here we go.
Someone give us
Anyway.
the timestamp when we all made the same face after taking the first shot.
We all did the exact same face. So that's really
and looked
sweet.
at the cup.
It's very sweet.
It was like, oh.
It's an experiment, but it's as good as it gets.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the face Chris was making when the podcast dropped. So right out the gate, they talk about Xbox's future and how great it's gonna be, and it's bright, blah 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 blah. Which of course is just corporate mumbo jumbo.
Of course.
But thank God they didn't make us wait half an hour for what everybody wanted to hear. The first 3 minutes, they straight up ask. So they say, "What's coming up for the future of multi-platform?" And Phil Spencer says there's 4 new multi-platform games, and when I say new, it's new to the multi-platforms, not new Xbox games. But there's going to be 4 games that are coming multi-platform, and that includes Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and PC.
Yep.
And right up, thank God they just asked right away: is it Starfield, and is it Indiana Jones? Because that's what happened. We know that in January there was rumors that we were going to get some multi-platform Xbox games.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it wasn't exact. We kind of knew Hi-Fi Rush for the last few months because it was data mined, and everybody knew Hi-Fi Rush was kind of scheduled to come to Switch. It's a smaller Xbox game. It's not the best. It's not the best. It's not the worst, but
It's very
it's
sweet.
sweet. It's very sweet.
Sweet like Midori.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so we knew that Hi-Fi Rush was definitely going to be one of those games. What we didn't know was what other games were coming, and then some rumor exploded.
Well, we still don't know what games are coming.
Yeah, we kind of do now. Famitsu revealed.
But he never confirmed before. But we
He
have
has
an
right,
idea.
right. These aren't confirmed by Xbox yet. So this is again another thing that we shouldn't jump to conclusions about, because we've learned as of yesterday we shouldn't do that. So Hi-Fi Rush is rumored, but then they asked him straight up, is it Starfield and is it Indiana Jones? Because that's what really blew up over the last week. That Starfield was coming, and that kind of, if you were an Xbox guy and you just bought Starfield 8 months ago or whatever it dropped, 6 months ago, this is like the biggest game of 2023 that Xbox dropped for Xbox. It was their big
It was
hit.
it was a monumental game for the gaming industry. Period.
Yeah, it's
That-
you know
it was-
Bethesda's next big game,
Yeah.
and it was gonna be
Flagship.
and it's gonna be a console exclusive or an Xbox exclusive. You can get it on Game Pass, of course. But it was the number 8 selling game of the year, and it was kind of like a reason to own an Xbox if you wanted to have an exclusive.
Yeah.
So if you could argue that, say, like Mario Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom, and then Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation, and Starfield was definitely the one for Xbox.
Yeah.
And if you were a PC guy, then Diablo. Like, you wanted to kind of hold that over everybody's head and say, well, we got Diablo. Well, he straight up said no. It's not going to be Starfield. The next 4 games are not going to be Starfield, and they're not going to be Indiana Jones. And those were announced on the Xbox Direct, Developers Direct.
Yep.
Jason has been drinking a lot of beers prior to this podcast.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm still getting over my bronchitis.
and then he made the mistake of going to the bathroom beforehand, which opened up the the floodgates. You know, if you're drinking, you can kind of hold it, but as soon as you go the first time, you open up those floodgates, and you're gonna be in the bathroom a lot. So yeah, he had a few Coronas before.
But I think about what he didn't say as well.
So well, let's talk. Well, we can't read into. We've learned off of this podcast we can't read into the in between the lines at this point. We know what he did say. He did say it's not going to be Xbox. I mean, it's not going to be Indiana Jones, and it's not going to be Starfield for now, because there was a Verge interview that came after the podcast that he kind of left that door open for the future.
For those 2 games and other titles.
And he said we don't know what the future holds for those, for any title. But from what he said in the podcast was, the games that are going to come are older than 1 year, and they've already reached their saturation point on the Xbox.
Yep.
So they know the audience. They know that it's sold and it peaked, and it's not going to sell more than the 25. Out of the 25 million Xbox owners, right? So if they sell 5-6 million copies, that's probably going to peter out after that, and that's it. So now it's time to expand. And so Famitsu pretty much, as of this morning, confirmed the 4 games that are going to come. Famitsu is a Japanese, for those that don't know, a Japanese gaming publication. And it's Grounded, which is a smaller... If it was the 360 days, we would call this an Xbox Live Arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
Pentiment, which got great reviews, and a lot of people were crying
Xbox
that
fans.
it wasn't Game of the Year. A lot of Xbox fans were calling this thing Game
Did
of
you
the
think
Year.
it was Game of the Year?
No.
Did you even play Pentiment?
No.
What the
It's
hell
a
is
storybook game with
I-
with pages that you turn.
I'll be honest. That game didn't catch my attention.
And you're gonna speak up a little bit, because that's a weak mic. But it's not about being
Yeah,
close. Just speak up.
the game didn't really catch my attention. Wasn't even interested in it. Grounded, however, fair enough. I would actually call it an Xbox Live arcade game.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun game. I actually enjoyed playing that.
Wasn't on my radar until I heard what it was this morning.
You know what I will buy? I will
ahead.
buy Sea of Thieves. And I will buy Hi-Fi Rush.
Both, I am very interested. Out of those 4,
Yeah.
and I know you think Grounded is good. That's not on my radar.
Right.
Oh, it was good?
Oh, I enjoyed it.
No,
Oh, okay.
it's supposedly really
It,
good.
Oh, okay.
reminded-
Supposedly all 4 of these games are like really good games.
Okay.
What I got out of Grounded reminded me so much of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Right, that's exactly what it's supposed to be.
I seen the
It's
game.
that, it's that.
Okay, I seen that, and I I thought like that might be a little
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's that game, and it got high acclaim, and it was one of those games
And it's
that
an online.
Yep. Yeah,
service. It's a service type
Yeah,
game.
I would. All right, I might try that out.
Which is the next thing that he said. We're gonna look at service games for multi-platform.
Halo.
So probably not Halo, but
Well, they're gonna test. They're gonna see.
we're gonna find out. Like, maybe the first couple of Halos, or maybe when this Halo gets old.
Halo's been out. Halo Infinite's been out what, 2 years?
Yeah, it's been out.
3?
2 or 3 years.
Almost launch.
No, not long.
Yeah, the system's only 4 years old.
It came out two years ago.
Well, I wasn't playing Xbox. I was playing PS5.
Well,
even 2
either
years
way.
ago. Anyway, so damn, that shit's sweet.
You just gotta add more liquor to it, man.
I
Be a
got
man.
maybe if I add more to it,
No, add more whiskey.
more Midori. No, we got. I might have to
I made
add-
it brown.
So
That's what I'm saying. You gotta make it brown.
The alcohol content is supposed to be like 20%. So it's not like, which is really scary because that means you could drink a lot of this and not think it's nothing.
You gotta make it brown, and so you can sip it.
Like if you drank 20% thinking it's, oh, this is sweet, it goes down easy. You know what it reminds me of? Jack Honey. At the very beginning, I used to like Jack Honey, and then when I switched over to regular Jack and I went back to Honey, at one point I was like, this is maple syrup, it's disgusting. And it made, like, I remember taking a shot of Jack Honey after I went to regular whiskey, and I gagged. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
What the hell is this crap?
It's very sweet, guys.
It's very sweet. Anyway, sorry, let me know diverge, but that Xbox green is sweet. The Hypnotic was delicious. So it's Sony delicious.
All right, well, come on, man. We don't need another 2-hour podcast, man.
We're only 21 minutes in. We got a lot of time to talk about
Okay,
this.
all right.
But so we know it's service games that are going to be coming to the next systems. So Hi-Fi Rush is also one of those games that kind of remind me a little bit of, I don't remember, you guys remember the
Jet Set
Dreamcast.
Radio?
Yeah, of
It
course.
really reminded me a
Yes,
lot of
yes.
Jet Set Radio. Speaking of, Sega's bringing Jet Set Radio back, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it.
So hyped.
Yeah.
So hyped.
I'm a little cautious.
Jet Set Radio.
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi.
Count me in.
Forget it.
Sega, you got my $60, man.
Yeah, automatically.
Yeah, you got my $60. They're gonna give me a 20-minute Crazy Taxi game, and I'm gonna pay $60 for.
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't help it.
I
Dreamcast
just
was my
hope they
favorite.
don't do it like Sonic, man.
I'm all set with Sonic. By the way,
I know
speaking
you
of
are.
Sonic, Sega came out and talked about Sonic's the sales for Sonic Superstars.
I'm sure it did good.
It was disappointing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're unhappy with the sales. They're hoping it's a long tail system seller or a long tail seller, but Sega shot themselves in the foot. They put it out the same time as Mario Wonder and what was
Oh, yeah.
and I think what was the other one that came out? It was like Uncharted or not Uncharted. What was the remaster of that scary game for PlayStation?
Resident Evil?
No, their version of that. Sony's version.
No, either way, it came out the same.
Sony's version with the big old plant monster characters. I'm drunk.
Yeah, so
The Last of Us.
Last of Us 2.
Yeah, it was like a remake of that. It
Yeah,
came out the
but-
same week as both of those games.
yeah, but it's different markets though.
Mario Wonder?
Not Mario.
Yeah, that's head to
I'm talking
head.
about The Last of Us.
I understand, but
should-
Sony's people had their.
They shouldn't have dropped that Sonic game the same week
I
as
agree.
Mario Super
I
World,
agree.
whatever it was, Mario Wonder.
I agree.
Bad idea.
Mario Wonder was great, and I appreciate it, and I like that Sonic game. But what they shouldn't have done is they shouldn't have fired Christian Whitehead. I think that's his name.
Oh my God!
Who
Yeah.
made Sonic Mania?
Yeah, and all the
And-
Sonic fan base.
And they
games.
should have just let him. They should have gave him a blank check and said, "Do you?"
Hey, Christian Whitehead, you're in charge of like the next 5 years of Sonic development. That's
Yeah.
what they should have. Because let me tell you who got it right. Sonic Mania got it right.
Yeah.
That felt like a 16-bit Sonic game. It felt like you were playing a Genesis, like a game that was supposed to be on Genesis, and it had never come out for Genesis.
Yep.
And that's the
that's-
best kind of Sonic game.
So,
It was fantastic.
but they fired him, so we're probably not going to get Christian Whitehead again unless somebody wants to pick him up and do.
Hey, you know, Ubisoft, you guys might need a new developer for the next Rayman game.
Yeah, something like that, you know. But so back to the podcast, the Xbox podcast.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
we diverge, we digress. But yeah, so So live service games, which brings us to the other game that Fatman pretty much revealed was Sea of Thieves, and we said we both.
Yes, I seen the TikTok
Have you played Sea of
videos.
Thieves?
Yeah.
So out of all of us here,
We had to bring
Jason-
an Xbox expert.
you took the words right out of my mouth. Before you showed up, I said, Jason, we're going to reveal you as our resident Xbox expert. And we couldn't have this podcast this week without our Xbox guy.
expert.
Yeah, this is our Xbox guy. So, have you played Sea of
Oh,
Thieves?
dude, Sea of Thieves, fun game. Very, very fun. I love it.
Do you think this game could run on Switch? It is rumored to come to Switch and PS5.
Absolutely.
So it's not like super graphically intensive.
It looked
or anything.
cartoony.
No.
It looked very cartoony.
It does, and it's made by Rare,
No, this game.
which
can
we know
easily-
Rare is very familiar with old Nintendo
Yes.
ways.
It can easily run on Switch.
So you think it could run on Switch?
Yeah.
Maybe at 1080p or 720p.
It's
Yeah.
a real cartoony. I don't think it's graphically
Yeah,
intensive.
but it's pretty aggressive as far as the multiplayer.
Now, the videos I seen of the multiplayer, I seen some dude trolling. He had his boat, and he rolled up on another boat, and he jumped in there,
Yeah.
ate some bananas, fell asleep. He said, "I'm gonna get my health up," or whatever it was, the stamina.
Yeah.
And then he woke up, and then he just started killing people on the boat, taking their stuff.
On their own boat.
And then he would go and hide, throw smokes, and they would think that he jumped off the boat. And then meanwhile, he was just asleep. And
It
he
sounds
wakes
so much
back
fun.
up.
It sounds like so much
He
fun.
wakes back up and starts terrorizing
He's
them again.
hiding somewhere.
Yeah, and then takes their stuff, kills them, and then he leaves. And I was like, that seems fun. Just like
It does.
Hell Let Loose.
Oh,
You recommended that game. I
looks so
watched
much- it looks
watched
so
some
much fun.
videos on it. That looks good. I seen a little bit what Hell Divers could did. I bought that yesterday. I played.
I just saw the trailer to that today.
it is
Yeah.
multi-platform.
That game.
Yeah.
You
looks
have to play.
amazing.
Even if you
That's
buy
not
it- even if you
multiplayer.
want-
It's Sony and PC.
Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. I meant Hell Let Loose.
Oh, Hell Let Loose is multiplayer.
Yeah, that means that you guys can do cross-platform if you guys both bought it.
Yeah.
Even if you decided to get it on Xbox, which is it just dropped on Xbox. It's been available on PlayStation
It's
and
been
PC.
It's been available. No, I heard it was on PC first, and it dropped on consoles 2 years ago.
Yeah, but it's just now available on Xbox. It
Xbox
dropped on
is just
PS5
now
2 years
available.
ago.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, I mean, it was available on consoles, yes, but only
PS5.
for PS5.
Yeah, it was PC,
Oh.
PS5.
I
Now it literally as of I think 2 days ago, Xbox has it.
wow. Shout out to Game Ranks. I usually watch before you buy.
Yeah,
And he said it's on Xbox and da.
Yeah,
And console. I usually take his word. It's bomb.
yeah.
But,
remember
but
you
yeah.
might you've just been watching these videos recently too. To be fair, and I know that they announced that it was coming to Xbox like a few weeks ago. So either
Yeah.
way, it's on. It's if you're a PC, PS5, Xbox
Yeah.
gamer, Hell
So-
Let Loose.
So Hell Let Loose. It remind me of it's a World War II shooter.
Yeah,
Um,
realistically, almost sim-like.
It's almost like a Battlefield type of thing in a way,
Yeah,
but it's like
it's a little
I seen
grittier
one-
than Call of Duty, a little grittier than
I
Battlefield.
seen one dude, he had to throw the C4 on a tank, and as he was trying to ready up the C4,
Tank kept pulling away.
Tank kept pulling away. He's trying to keep up. He's trying to ready it, and then the dude jumped out the tank trying to shoot him, and then the dude got blasted right in front of him, and
So
he was just
he's
like,
injured now, but he's still trying to C4 the tank.
so he was like, oh shit, like, cause
I gotta do this.
it was one of those moments, when as a Call of Duty player,
Yeah.
as a Call of Duty fan,
Yeah.
when you get caught reloaded and someone just appear in front of you,
Yeah.
it was
It's
one
a
of
wrap.
those.
Yep.
And the explosion just blew him apart, but he still got hurt. Like he kind of
He was injured.
He kind of could have died too, but
Right.
he didn't.
You're right.
But now he's still trying to keep up with the tank and put the tank on, put the C4 on the tank, and as he puts the C4 on the tank,
He walks away injured.
he walks away injured. He blows up the tank, and he also killed the teammate while blowing up the tank.
And then he reports back, hey, tank's down, while he's bleeding to death. And his boys, who were halted because there's a tank on the battlefield, they're like, oh my god, thank you. Now we can advance.
Yeah.
And I know we're late to the party, guys, because the game's been out for a couple of years on PC and PlayStation. but it was not on our radar until my TikTok just kind of said, "Hey, I think you might
like this.
you might like this." And everything I've watched has been like, "Oh my god, this game looks amazing."
And as far as for Helldivers,
Helldivers looks like Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
I actually saw from one of the comments it mentioned that too.
Yes, yes, that's what it is.
It's Starship Troopers.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Remember
I didn't know.
That was such a great movie.
That's what it is. It's Starship Troopers. Like as I'm
You just had a revelation.
I'm playing the introduction.
Yes.
And I'm going through the tutorial, and I'm hearing it, and I'm like, this is like a parody.
Yes.
But it's like
it's in the future.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, what is this? So far it's fun.
You bought it?
I bought it.
You played it?
I played the tutorial.
Oh, nice.
I got through the tutorial. I did the first mission, but I want to know how to.
Just played it. I literally bought it last night.
I want to connect. I want to know how to play with other people online.
Yeah. Right. That's coming. Man, and you saw the trailer. So he wasn't really into like what Helldivers was until when he came in today. I said, look at the trailer. And then you watched the trailer. What was your impression?
Dude, I saw the trailer and immediately it was what he said, Starship Troopers.
Yep.
I even read the comments, said the same exact thing.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, I gotta get this game.
It looks good.
It looks mad good. And the way he described it, it was just like how I saw it.
Yep.
I was like,
I seen a video where one of the guys' mission was to launch an ICBM, and as he's
by the way, which it's like almost cinematic.
Yeah. So
when you see those rockets launching,
so the rocket launches, and he's saying like, yeah, I just launched the rocket. You know, I'm thinking it's just gonna disappear, fade into the background or whatever.
It's like a nuke.
The whole sky had lit up.
Yeah,
and then he did his salute
because he knows he's done die too.
He did his salute. The salute is like something stupid. It's like this. It's
yeah.
But I'm Call of Duty trained.
Yeah.
I'm Halo trained.
Yeah.
So getting used to the controllers is a little different.
Halo Green trained.
Nah. So.
One more of this.
That's the cheese.
So,
you haven't drank yours. He hasn't drank it.
Yeah, he drunk it. It was to the top.
I gotta finish this because it's gross.
So,
you think it's gross?
But it's very sweet. It's not gross. It's just sweet.
Gross. It is sweet, but
like that's something that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it tastes bad.
It's
really sweet.
It doesn't taste bad.
You're right. Fans, our 30 listeners,
our Reddit users.
You would you got this on Reddit now?
No, this is what I bought it because Reddit said this is what you would mix with whiskey.
Oh, okay. Wow. So what I would do with that, if you're having a party, you making like a
recipe right in the back.
You making like a rum punch, I would throw that in a rum punch.
A rum punch would be good.
I would throw that in a rum punch.
A rum punch would be good with fruit and all that.
Yeah.
It's extremely fruity.
Pause. Yeah, super pause.
But yeah, so
Helldivers is I like it so far.
Oh, they're saying margaritas.
Oh, you bought
too.
2 bottles.
Yeah, I couldn't find the other bottle. Where is it?
Right next to you.
That's what I wanted because that was the cold one, and I pulled out this warm one.
So but yeah, so those are the 4 games that are coming.
Margaritas.
I would not make a margarita with that.
There's a recipe right in the bottle.
I would not. I recommend you do not make a margarita with that.
If you like sweet margaritas instead of salt margaritas, I do like sweet margaritas.
You can make a sweet margarita with a lot of other things. With a lot of other things. I'm not saying that I'm not drunk.
No, I know. But I think I would. This
is sweet.
It's a Japanese freaking drink.
It's
not
Alizé. It's not Alizé.
I know Midori's not a new brand, guys. Just so you guys know, we're not like inexperienced drinkers, but we are inexperienced with brands we don't freaking know, and we've been experimenting here on Drunken Idiots.
It's not Alizé or Hypnotic Sweet.
It's sweeter than that.
It's sweeter than Ciroc Red Berry.
Yeah, it's sweeter than Honey Jack. It's sweeter than Alizé.
And that's sweet.
That's sweet. Yeah. It's very sweet. It's almost a syrup.
Yeah, it's sweeter than Ciroc Red Berry.
But I can definitely have it with a margarita. if the rim is pause, if I don't know why, but the rim is covered in salt. A rim.
You like that salted rim?
Exactly. That's why I had to say pause, because I know
that salted rim job.
I know my boy. Anyway, so
know me. Pause.
he knows he likes that salt. He knows I like that salted rim. You guys watch him during the Royal Rumble, trying to grab my face.
That was for content.
Content.
Clicks and views.
Yeah, Pornhub calls it content too.
Like and subscribe and come to my OnlyFans.
Oh, onlychris.com. You're gonna be. You know why I call it OnlyFans? Because you're gonna be his only fan. Look. Anyway, so please let's turn this into an Incredible Hulk.
Oh my god, that shit's.
I gotta finish this
sweet
shit.
as fuck.
I apologize, but hey, you know what? They gave me 2 bottles for the price of 1 because they messed up at 20% alcohol. See, that's dangerous, bro.
I gotta. This is 17.
20% is not light.
No, it really isn't.
You can get drunk off that just by drinking it alone.
You can get drunk off beer. That's what.
Where's your
5%?
Where's your beer? My boy Jason got the Steel Reserve. That's a lot of beer.
First time having this drink.
Crack it open.
Oh, it's already open.
Oh, how's it? How is it? You like it?
I actually like it.
It's pretty strong, right?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Man, what do they call that in the hood? Bum juice?
Chris?
They call that in the hood, right? Bum
What do you
juice?
call this?
I live in the suburb.
Yeah, he lives in the suburb now, but you guys don't know where we come from. Represent Magnolia. Go ahead.
My
Magnolia.
sister is a valedictorian.
Yep, and your brother's an attorney. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So what? My sister's a housewife. So what?
Rap it.
What does that mean?
Wow. She is really?
In today's day and age,
I respect your sister, man.
housewife is like a legitimate job.
No, I'm not saying that it's not. But
And today's it's so rare nowadays to be a housewife. You might as well be an attorney. There's more attorney females out there today than there are housewives.
she gotta be a good girl. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
And she's raising 3 kids.
I'm sorry, but your sister gotta be a
And
good
she's
woman.
with her man, the one baby daddy.
Am I allowed to mention her?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Xiomara, woo woo!
Somebody don't watch this podcast, bro.
She sucks.
You think I got support?
But
All our subscribers are Chris's fans.
shit. I doubt that.
Anyway, so we got our Helldivers news. We got our Xbox news.
I was
So
surprised to hear that in the podcast that they said that they're going to continue with new hardware. That took me by surprise.
that's what I want to get on. So next gen hardware.
Let's talk about it.
We talked about next gen hardware, like our own whatever thoughts. We kind of both speculated. You went with your speculation, and then I went with mine, and then you weren't here for that. But you've heard both arguments.
But they said
Yep.
the greatest technological leap.
It's gonna be a bigger leap.
But that's still kind of vague.
I think we're looking at PC ray tracing, all that stuff.
I don't
Microsoft.
think so.
So what would they mean?
So what I think. So when you
they
say
said he said graphical leap.
he didn't say graphical,
What did he say?
technological leap.
Okay.
He didn't say performance
That's
leap.
fine. That's fine.
He didn't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
graphical.
That could mean a lot of things.
It could mean a lot.
That's
so when he said
But I think
when
it's
she
gonna be
said
PC oriented.
when she said technological leap,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Maybe VR.
no, I'm thinking AI,
Oh,
cloud streaming,
100%.
and I'm also thinking handheld.
Oh no. Maybe. Oh.
Now,
We don't know.
now this is all speculation, of course.
Yeah. This is.
This is all
Yeah,
speculation.
yeah. This
Let
is
me-
Chris's
This
ideas.
is my take. This is my take. This is
Chris's
my
idea.
thoughts.
You're hearing it here first.
This is my take. So now, if Xbox were to drop a handheld
Yeah.
that streams their Game Pass titles and possibly
Man, that would be dope.
allows you to buy games, right? I might.
Like
I'm
a PS Vita type device.
I might be interested in a PS Vita type device from Xbox.
I would
But-
be 100%
but hold on.
invested.
Let me get my-
No, I'm with you. I'm
let me
with
get-
you.
let me
I'm
get
with
my-
you.
let me
I'm
get-
so far. Listen, if you're the
Let me-
guy that's running this show right now,
Let me
I'm
get my
with you so
shit off.
far. I'm with you so far.
So let me get my shit off. So
Sounds
boom.
fun.
If Microsoft take the people that make their laptop division, their tablet.
Surface, the Surface Pro.
If they take the service team and said, "Listen, we about to jump in the handheld market,"
We're gonna make a Microsoft Xbox Surface Pro.
don't call it that.
Yeah, they gotta include Xbox.
If the Surface team
I'm just saying,
makes
you
a handheld
Don't call it whatever.
and
They gotta include Xbox.
you could do a PS Vita Lite, right? Plays Xbox One games natively. You could stream Xbox Series X and Series S games. But you put it in a dock, and the dock got some AI shit that let it play
next gen.
next gen.
That's a lot of ask. And how much is this device gonna cost?
I don't. So with the
It's gonna be
AI,
like $1,000.
people are paying
They're
a
not.
lot for these
not.
PC handhelds.
They're not. So we're gonna talk about that in just a second.
Okay.
They're not. So ROG Ally hasn't sold as much as Lenovo thought it would, and Steam Deck didn't sell as much as Steam thought it would. And we're gonna dip now. But God, I love what you're saying.
But I would do.
If to improve Microsoft's footprint into the future, which I
think they have a better shot at handhelds than Sony.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with
What
that.
you think?
I'm not disagreeing with that. He's gonna love that.
Listen, when it comes to handhelds, I mean, Sony tried,
Repeatedly.
and tried.
And how have they done? The thing
I
is
heard
with handhelds is
Nintendo dominates.
it's hard to get into that space, and since 1989, nobody has been able to.
Absolutely.
That's a long freaking time to try to go in there and dethrone Nintendo. And it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I had a Game Gear.
Everything's possible.
I know.
Yeah, I had a Game Gear, and I had a freaking Atari Lynx.
I wanted a Neo Geo Pocket.
It was like, oh, listen, in 1989, the Game Boy came out, and the Atari Lynx came out the same year. One was 16-bit. One was a black and white, looked like a calculator. Guess which one freaking won? Didn't matter. It was the games at the end of the day. But Xbox jumping in.
Wario Land
It's a
3
fun
is
idea.
still my favorite. Mario 2 on the Game Boys.
It's
still
a fun
my
idea.
favorite Mario game.
I don't dislike your idea. I love your idea. I hope Microsoft is listening to Chris. I don't think Microsoft is going to jump into the handheld gaming business. I think they know their audience, and I think they know their audience, and I don't think they're going to jump into handheld. However, if it's like a Game Pass oriented handheld, you might be onto something. If it's like a streaming, always online, Game Pass oriented, you might be on something.
If you can stream all those catalogs,
yeah.
And if
It's like a cloud gaming device.
if it's a cloud gaming device that you could play anywhere on the go, and it has
some kind of a download feature where you can download 1 or 2 games at a time, take it with you.
So you can play it offline.
Yeah, exactly. Like if the PS Portal had a hard drive in it, and you could take a PS5 game that you own.
I think that's coming too.
That's not coming.
I think that's coming too.
It's not coming. But that brings us to our next thing, now that we're talking about Sony. So Sony talked about their Q3 results. We're going to wrap this up now. We got the last 15 minutes of the show. We're going to talk about Sony. So Nintendo, we talked about their Q3 results last week. They're the only ones that performed well year over year. Sony misses their PS5 sales target as consoles enter the latter stage of its life cycle. And this is an article from The Verge. The company now has lowered their forecast to 20 million consoles sold in its fiscal year, which we know goes in through March. So we've got another month left. They originally thought they were going to sell 25 million consoles last year from March to March. And they are around 17 million. And with 1 month left, they lowered their forecast to 21 million copies of its PS5s. It's looking closer to 18 to 20 million, which is a huge loss leader for Sony in this case. And here's a quote: "We expect the annual sales pace of PS5 hardware will start falling into the next fiscal year," which means they're actually expecting these games systems to sell less. Now, this is the first time since, I believe, PlayStation 2, our resident actually guy can look this up later, that Sony's been down year over year over its previous console. So that means that...
Wait, say that again?
That Sony's been down year over its previous console, meaning at this stage, PS3 was outselling PS2, and then at this stage, PS4 was outselling PS3, and now PS5 is actually down to PS4 sales.
Okay.
So it looks like they're like year over year, not as far as PS4 was at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about a couple of things.
It's a lot of things.
Yeah, we can also talk about like the pandemic happened.
Yeah, COVID was a thing.
The system is finally available in stores in the last year and a half, where it
Inflation-
wasn't.
Inflation is up.
A lot of factors come into play. Sony basically came on record and said that their... What is it exactly? I don't want to misquote here. That their sales are down from what they were expecting. Oh, I have it up. I'm drunk. Their sales are down from what they were expecting.
Tune in later for the inebriated idiots after this.
So the latest news comes from Sony. I called 25 million target high, and now they're saying that it's not within reach. So basically, they are also claiming that their latest fiscal year, meaning from March of this year to March of next year, there are no major first-party games announced. We do know of that Insomniac leak for that Wolverine game that's going to come out next year. So that means that it's not going to be from March. We should expect that maybe summer or holiday next year, 2025, because it's not going to be in the fiscal year this year. That means don't expect it at least through March. There are no major first-party franchises coming from Sony for an entire year from now until March of 2025. So the Financial Times quote the analysis and said that PS5 sales are around 15% less than what they were expecting. But there is some good news. For a resident Xbox guy, what did we say our PS5 sales were compared to Xbox last week?
It was 2-1.
Yeah, it turns out it's about 3-1. And it turns out that Nintendo's final results are about 4-1.
To Xbox.
Yeah, to Xbox. So it's 2-1 to PlayStation.
And 4-1 to Xbox.
And 4-1 to Xbox. How do you feel about that, resident Xbox expert, as an Xbox guy?
Well, as Nintendo being my favorite company.
Is that right?
Now,
Yes.
since when?
No, since forever. Okay.
He was a big
Why you don't
Nintendo...
have a picture of your Wii U as your PS5?
The way I did. The way I did. On my PlayStation.
Because it's like how he mentioned. I prefer Xbox over Sony. Nintendo is busy doing their own thing. Okay? So
That's
the
true.
competition really is between Xbox and PlayStation.
So we here in the bandwagon right now.
Wait. Let him finish.
The competition is really between
He's
Xbox
rarely here.
and PlayStation. Okay? So I can't even put Nintendo on this because, like I said, Nintendo's doing their own thing. Now, I can admit that Xbox is getting there. You know, they're getting handed.
They're in their ass kicked
Since when?
for a decade now.
15 years.
Since the
About a
beginning
decade.
of Xbox One.
Xbox One. That announcement.
That
Since like 2012.
That
Xbox One got announced at 14.
I'd say so. Yeah, some
2014.
Yeah, we're ballparking
but you
it.
know what? Xbox really did shoot themselves on the foot when they made that announcement.
But you were very supportive of that announcement, if I remember correctly back then.
Because
You liked the Kinect.
because
You wanted to have it included and always be online.
Well, the whole thing about the always be online never bothered me because I was always online to begin with.
Okay.
That didn't affect me. I can see why it bothered, other people.
So what it bothered me. So not being able to buy used games or share games bothered me.
Oh no, hold on.
Yeah, that was a lot of yeah.
I agree with you on that. That was stupid on them.
Yeah.
Okay, that was really stupid.
And
then bundling
they quickly backtracked.
Oh,
and then bundling the Connect for $100 more into the price.
They could have avoided that.
Bundling the Connect, I didn't agree with.
You liked it.
No, I like the Connect.
I remember you used to jump around.
You like
your
the
living
Connect,
room.
so
He
that's
was playing.
I like the Connect.
Connectimals.
However, what?
I remember you were a big fan of Connectimals.
Since when?
Yeah, I remember. Go on.
All
All right, let's go. What else?
All right.
He loved it, Chris. He loved it.
I didn't agree with.
You bought a hat. It said Connectimals on it.
Okay. Now you just busted my chops.
Go
I
on.
didn't agree with Connect being bundled, okay, with the Xbox.
Okay, maybe.
Because now you just added $100 to the price tag.
Very much.
Yep.
Okay.
Bad idea.
For a weaker system.
Yeah.
It was the weaker system.
It was.
No, absolutely.
Yep.
The weaker system, you just added $100 because now you bundled the Connect.
Yep.
I mean, the whole you mentioned earlier the not being able to share the games.
Share the games.
Just terrible marketing.
Dude.
And when they asked him, hey, what about the Xbox being online all the time? And they said, we got a system for you. It's called the 360.
When I heard that, I was like, that's it.
Idiots. It was, so this reminded me of when Sony said,
Yes.
we don't need Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
We don't need Grand Theft Auto at the beginning of the PS3's life cycle. We're bigger than that.
Yes.
And then before that, it was Nintendo saying, we don't need Final Fantasy. And then Final Fantasy came out on PS1 and was like the biggest thing ever.
Yes.
Is when companies get bigger than they think they're unbeatable.
Yeah.
Microsoft was at that point during the Xbox One. They thought they were the shit.
During that generation, I felt like they were doing what Sony did with PS3. Because Sony got too cocky with the PS2 generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the very beginning of PS3, it was a disaster.
And what they did, they announced that the PS3 was going to be, what was it, $100 more expensive?
It was
than-
$600.
$600. It was like $200 more. Yeah,
For
yeah.
entry.
It was like, okay, the next generation doesn't start until we say so.
If you can't afford it, get a second job.
Yes.
He said that on record.
And what happened? They
Yeah.
shot themselves in the
I
foot.
bought
Yeah,
a 360.
It took
Xbox-
6 years for them to
I
come
bought
back.
a 360.
Xbox
Yeah.
dominated that generation, and then what happened?
Well,
Microsoft
until the end.
until the end.
Sony caught up and beat them in sales.
Right.
PS3.
But the majority of that generation, Xbox owned it.
Nintendo owned it. The Wii.
He's
Get
talking
mad.
about.
Okay.
He's talking about
PlayStation versus
high
Xbox.
def graphics.
You're right. PlayStation versus Xbox.
Yeah.
But you're right about that, though.
Go on.
The Wii dominated.
We
But
gonna talk
between-
about the Wii U.
But between
Oh, the Wii U was a
but
disaster.
between Xbox and PlayStation, the 360 dominated.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
then what happened?
For like 4 years.
Microsoft got cocky. Okay,
Yeah.
the same thing that Sony did.
We're going to do this again.
Shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah. And they went a little bit more humble during the S and X. But I think the damage was done at that point. And let me tell you another thing about marketing. And we were talking about this
It
previously.
was marketing TV.
Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X. Then the
Oh,
next
yeah, the
system is
name.
called Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
It's horrible marketing.
The name.
Phil Spencer, man. Nobody knows the difference between an Xbox One S and X
If-
versus an Xbox Series One and X.
no,
S and X.
If you're not a gamer,
Nobody knows.
okay, yeah, you're gonna.
I'm all set. I got my Xbox Green this week.
For your own trouble, bro.
Xbox Green. I don't care how bad it is.
You know,
I do care. I do care. It's terrible. It's not terrible. It's just super sweet. This tastes like juice.
It don't taste like juice.
It tastes like a syrup, like something you would mix.
It
to
tastes
make
like
juice.
syrup.
I'm gonna drink it raw.
It tastes like
Pause.
fucking syrup.
Hey, I'm gonna drink it raw. Pause.
Look. That's the shit that got splashed.
It's green as fuck.
That
During the Nickelodeon Super Bowl?
no.
The
That
Nickelodeon Super. Did you guys see the clip from that?
that looked like the shit that got splashed in that drink in the Hulk movie that killed Spike Lee.
Hey,
Spike.
if
what's
you
his
guys
name?
all watch the
Stan
Nickelodeon
Lee.
Super Bowl, this is Nickelodeon Slime Green. I'm
Oh,
a,
yeah, the Hulk movie. Yeah,
Mhm.
it did kill him.
Nobody watched that. I'm drunk.
Drink it.
The whole thing?
Yeah, drink that sweet shit, bitch.
Drink the whole thing.
Hold on, let me unplug
It's sweet
my-
as fuck. Pause.
Here we go. This is
It's not hard to do. It's not gonna burn your
What was that
throat.
dude that was on my team in SHS? You know who you are, bro. That fruity dude.
What fruity do?
The one on Kamisha's team. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he tried to get me fired.
How is it?
It's
Wow.
actually better by itself.
Is it sweet though? Is it syrupy?
Is that a fact?
It's better by itself. I could drink this.
Well, you like sweet shit because
But
you're
also,
not a
no,
man.
but maybe because I'm also more drunk now than I was when I first started drinking it. And alcohol gets easy. It gets easier as you get a little. Anyway, yeah, this is fine, guys. Midori, after you mix it with whiskey and you wait an hour, you can drink it by itself. So,
I will not be sober and experimenting with that with my money. I
So-
will go to my go-tos.
Q3 earnings. Sony also mentioned that this is the latter part of the PS5.
Latter part. Yep.
Now, if I was a Sony fan, they also said they don't have any major first-party games except for Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, and also Insomniac's leaked games that were stolen, basically stolen. We know that that's coming. That's a Wolverine game coming up. There's nothing planned first-party from March to March. And in the video game industry, that's a long time. Now, I was listening to Nate the Hate. By the way, Nate the Hate was the only dude out there who was saying that all this, that Starfield wasn't coming and Indiana Jones was coming, that it was blown over proportion. And he was the only one that was out there saying, like, you guys are, I know for a fact that this is going to be less than what we are hearing.
Well, that's the problem with media today is because everybody wants clicks.
100%.
So
shout out to Nate the Hate, who was like, I know people who work at Microsoft and was saying it's not going to be Starfield and it's not going to be Indiana Jones. And he got a butt ton of hate on X and Twitter. Now, before we move on, I wanted to... Nate the Hate. Listen, before we move on, I wanted to say a lot of people on Twitter that I saw, or X, were saying that Microsoft changed their plans for their future because of the hate that was on Twitter.
maybe, but I don't think so.
In 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you think like a $100 billion corporation,
Yeah.
more than that?
No, Microsoft is the second $1 trillion company.
Yeah, and they are now with the Activision Blizzard acquisition and ZeniMax acquisition, they are now the largest publisher on the planet.
Yeah.
A few hundred or thousand fans on X
They don't need Xbox fans. That does not affect them.
their future
If
forecast.
they, for Game Pass, you Xbox fans, you get your games day and date.
Yep.
They'll make it up by selling it on Nintendo and Sony.
Exactly what I said in my last video, but I 100% agree on that. They got you. You want Game Pass? Get it on Game Pass. They got you there. You want to purchase it on Xbox? You want to buy it and own it? Because Phil Spencer during the podcast said, you can own your games and we respect that.
No, he didn't say own.
He said own.
He said no. He said digital entitlement.
He said own. He said own. He said own. He said we respect owning your games. Samantha Brown asked him, what about owning your games? She literally said owned. And he said we respect owning your legacy titles.
So, and when he said that, I perceive that as your physical media.
He said because he added as long as possible, it's also digital. And here's the thing about as long as possible. It may mean that someday down the road they're gonna look at those servers and go, it's no longer possible. And then you're SOL. You're out of luck.
I get that too, but there was a moment in the podcast, and he said digital entitlement. And
at least for next gen, we know it's coming with a hard drive.
Yeah. So digital entitlement was one of his thoughts.
Which goes back to like, we're going to be ending this soon because Jason's out there peeing again.
Nah, we getting there right now.
Listen.
And we can start the inebriated fucking idiots.
We got the Spanish version coming up soon. If you guys want to join us as the Spanish version of Star Flag Media in Espanol. But anyway, listen. Before we end the podcast, he did say, so at least, at the very least, which is something that, and again, this is just me talking out my ass, and
What you doing with a Philly blunt box?
that's what my baseball cards are, man. I've had that since like 1995. You can go look through those. There baseball cards in there, they're probably older than you.
Chill, bro. I got some few rolled up ones in there.
There's definitely no Philly blunts in there. But anyway, I don't smoke cigars or anything associated with Philly blunts. So, so just to wrap this up, so we know for at least one more generation, and that's all I can look into, is we know there's next-gen hardware coming. We know he mentioned this holiday there's going to be new hardware. Which is probably the digital Xbox X.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's probably an all-digital Xbox Series X.
And they're having a showcase in June.
Nintendo has been rumored to push back their Nintendo Mini Direct that was supposed to showcase yesterday to next week. It's supposedly only going to be a third-party Mini Direct. So we're going to see some third-party stuff that they have announced. They may mention the new Mario, Donkey Kong game or whatever that is, and the Princess Peach game they have coming out.
Yeah.
And Nintendo,
The Princess Peach game, I'm sorry. I seen some looks at it, a brief look.
I want to see what his thoughts are.
It don't look like a Mario game. So it looks different. And
it is different. But have you ever played Super Princess Peach on the DS?
I haven't. That looked like Super Mario World.
I was going to mention that.
Did you ever play it? Super Princess Peach?
That game's fun.
Hey, listen, Super Princess Peach on the original Nintendo DS, one of the most fun non-Mario games that I've ever played.
Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it.
So if this is anything like that, this might be one of the breakout hits for the Switch.
For what I've seen, for the gameplay that I've seen, I don't know what gameplay it was that I've seen. It could have been.
I know she got a bunch of different outfits and blah blah blah.
But what I've seen, it didn't look like no Mario game.
I think it's gonna be so if you play the old Super Princess Peach, it didn't look like that initially either, and then you play it and it's a platformer reminiscent of like Mario 2. She's got her like floating ability like she does in Mario 2, but they kind of give her own super power-ups.
Okay.
So she becomes, her own version of Mario to for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And the outfits in this game.
In the movie, she already had understanding of the power-ups.
Yeah, she kind of knew. So in this game, it kind of looks like the outfits are going to be the Fire Flower kind of thing, or the Starman, or the Ice Flower, all that Mario normally gets. I think they're substituting the power-ups to outfits.
Okay.
And, hey, man, Super Princess Peach was one of the best DS games.
Absolutely.
As I know that's it is what it is.
Mario Kart and Sonic Rush will always go down.
I wasn't any happier than the rest of y'all to go to GameStop and be like, hey, let me get a copy of... Because I had to go to the counter and ask for it. I didn't just pick it up.
I know, right?
Just pick it up.
How I felt at 25. Yeah, let me get Pokemon Sapphire.
Yeah, old as hell and walking up to the GameStop counter because everything's behind a counter.
But when I bought Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at the midnight launch,
You felt good about it?
it was nothing but old people.
You
my age there.
realize you're not alone.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about me picking up Super Princess Peach. They asked me this question. Did you reserve it? Which means other people reserved it. I wasn't alone. I was like, nah, I didn't reserve that shit, man. Give me that fucking game.
Yeah. Hey guys, so if you like the video,
Please.
please leave a comment, subscribe.
Definitely subscribe.
If you have any things that you think that we should talk to or need to address, put it in the comments. Let us know.
100%.
And
If you already liked and subscribed, share it.
yeah, don't forget to share. And like we mentioned earlier, this is a special moment. We got Sergeant America in the building. So now we're going to proceed on to our inebriated idiots, where you're going to get incoherent. Well,
Star Flag Media and what language are we going to be speaking in just a minute?
oh, we're also going to get the Star Flag Media and Espanol.
Absolutely.
So before we get to that, and before we get to the incoherent idiots, it's not inebriated. It was incoherent.
Yeah.
So before we get incoherent,
We're almost there.
we're gonna get to our Latin America vibe, and we're gonna start speaking Spanish. So check us out, like, subscribe. Happy Valentine's Day.
Check out Talents at Talents860 on YouTube. He does upload videos. It has been a little
I
while.
haven't uploaded a video in a
It's been a
month.
little while, but you can check him out. UWA Talents as well. He might appear as that. But Talents860, I've seen both appear under that tag name. Check him out. He does put up some YouTube videos. He does have some Call of Duty videos up there right now.
Yeah, I might do some commentary in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
you absolutely have to, because you have some bangers in there. You have some real nice wins. in
yeah,
there.
I got a lot of wins. But
He's actually a lot more quote unquote talented than than you guys might realize at Call of Duty. But yeah, I mean, guys, thank
you.
Thanks, Sergeant America, for joining us this
Yo,
week.
can I close this out?
Absolutely.
I want to close it out because in the last video he inspired me.
Oh, wow! You were his inspiration.
Chris inspired me.
If it wasn't for Chris, Sergeant America wouldn't be here today.
And if I was right with the Xbox podcast, would you still have came?
Oh yeah, absolutely, I would have came.
Yeah, you said that with a little hesitation.
But go ahead, close us out, Sarge.
Come on, 522,
22, 25. Hey, let's go.
Let me just say this. That is definitely a very Chris thing to say. He's been saying it for like a decade.
That's a Hartford thing, man. You got to be from Hartford to know.
As an AT&T thing for if you guys.
I'm from Hartford, and if you don't know 522, 22, 25, then that means you're not from here.
You're definitely not a fan of the Spanish.
I'm from Hartford. If you never double park on Salvins on a Saturday while getting some shoes, you're not from here.
R.I.P. Salvins. Hey, thank you, Talents, for coming in this week, man. We appreciate you being here. I know you're sick and you've been sick for a couple weeks, so it's nice of you to come through, and we always love you coming here, and we love you at Star Flag Media. Obviously, you're a part of the crew. You're the number one part of the crew, and you come here, Sergeant America.
I love to be here. Thank you.
Listen, man, thank you for coming through. This is actually a surprise to me as of around 3 p.m. today, when Sarge hit me up and said, "What time do you normally film the podcast?" And I said, "Listen, Chris is usually here around 6. I come out of work at 6, so he's usually around that time. Sometimes he's early, sometimes he's a little bit after that. Chris isn't the type of dude to be out there, in the streets. He just comes through. He's that kind of guy. So if you want to make it here before that, and Sarge, to his credit, he was here around 5:30. He came through early to make sure that we were on time to film the podcast.
I had a lot of hot takes last week.
We had a lot of hot takes.
So I want to say,
I had to make it, and I quote, my business to be here.
as the Xbox expert, he had to be here. And I'm going to make it part of my business to say, you know, we give our thoughts. We give our takes.
Yeah.
When we started the podcast, we called it the Drunken Idiots.
100%. We're drunken
And
idiots.
when we start out, we're relatively sober.
Yeah.
So whatever I say at the end or the middle of the podcast, you
100%.
can't take that as
Gospel.
yeah. I'm drunk. I'm a drunken idiot at that point.
We all are.
So if I was right, if I was wrong, it's always about the conversation.
I had to wear my Sony gear today so that Chris wouldn't call me a fanboy.
He's a fanboy.
He called me an Xbox fan last week, which was hilarious.
He is, but I was probably
But I'm
drunk.
not.
I don't remember saying that, but go ahead.
If he would have called me a Nintendo fan, I would have been like, yeah, he right. But an Xbox fan?
No, you know,
I'm an Xbox fan? I've been on Xbox since 360.
No,
They made me sell 6 Xboxes.
All right, we gotta cut this off.
Yeah, we do. It's almost an hour. Hey, we're an hour and 10 minutes in.
Mr.
Hey, we love you
Realist right
guys.
here. No fanboy,
He's
Mr. Realist.
not a realist.
I am a
Cut it
realist.
off, bro.
I
We
am
gotta go.
I am
Thank you. We
100%.
love you guys.
Everybody here, listen. This is our Xbox guy. This is our PlayStation guy, and I'm probably your Nintendo guy. So, if you want a realistic expectation of what I think, and I'm going to say I think because it's not 100% obviously, of what I think Xbox and PlayStation are going with, I'm probably the guy to listen to. If you want to listen to think what PlayStation and Nintendo are going with, this guy is probably the guy to listen to because he likes PlayStation and Nintendo. If you want to listen to what Nintendo and Xbox are doing, this guy is probably the guy to listen to since he's our Xbox and Nintendo guy. But if you want to listen
Stop
to,
promoting Zelda.
but if you want to listen to what PlayStation and Xbox are probably gonna do, these two guys hate the opposition. So you're gonna get their points of view for sure. And I'm not saying that they're wrong.
I
but it's
like
gonna be a little
Xbox.
skewed.
As a fan, I like Xbox. I'm
You
just
used to.
disappointed.
But
you haven't been on
I
Xbox.
will I will consider buying the Xbox portable
Chris,
console.
But he has never bought an
Don't give me
Xbox
that
since
crap.
the Xbox 360.
Don't give me that crap.
I haven't bought an Xbox
Yo,
since the 360.
come on.
That is correct.
Yeah, and that was a long time ago.
But I would consider a handheld from them.
Hey, cheers to everybody out there. Xbox Green this week. I'm going to say this. If you're an Xbox fan, this week,
You got some copium.
You did. You sighed a sigh of relief because you know for at
His
least...
face.
Listen, I'm gonna say, okay, that I was questioned by him. Okay, what was my thoughts? All right, and I never answered because I said, when you assume,
Make an ass out of yourself.
yes,
Absolutely. With
Yes.
all the news, if any of that had been true, I think it would have been a reasonable suspicion to say it would have been Xbox is turning third party.
But this is we talk about what's going on in the news, and the news was speculation, and we commented on the speculation,
And we had
no,
to.
of course,
We had
and
to.
we were drunk while we were doing it.
Yeah, and we had to talk about it.
No accountability.
So, PS5 Blue. I don't know where he saw the other bottle. Xbox Green.
That's your leg. It's probably warm
I
now.
gotta drink the rest
the
of
cold
this.
one or the hot one.
And they're all hot now. Xbox Green. So, at the end of the day, if we can find a red liquor for Nintendo next month, we'll talk about Nintendo. But
Oh, I'll find a red liquor.
we'll find one. Maybe red apple flavored or something like that. I don't know. We'll find something. Hey, at the end of the day, if you're a Nintendo fan like myself, Guess was the only company that said, F the competition, we're going to do our own thing. And sales are up.
And been successful at it,
Sales are up.
doing their own thing.
Sales are up. And blah, blah, blah. We don't care. F everybody else. Keep finding yourself. Nintendo's the winner. Anyway, so thank you guys all for joining us this week, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Like, subscribe, and
like,
share.
subscribe, share. Don't scare, share.
Don't scare, share, Talent 660, Sergeant America, UWA Avenger on like all the platforms. And thank you guys for joining Drunken Idiots this week. It was a crazy week. All right. Thanks, guys. And thank you for checking us out. Bye-bye.